Hey, this is Thomas Vieira from Stat Padford, and you're listening to the official League Podcast.
Welcome to the Bands Make Her Dance Fantasy Football League Podcast with your hosts, Taylor LaPrairie and Joe LaFever.
What's up, guys? Friday, November 6th, 2020. Bringing you another episode of the official League Podcast. Oh, I guess we have more than one podcast now. It's podcasts. Your hosts, Taylor LaPrairie and Joe LaFever here.
A whole fleet of podcasts.
A whole fleet of podcasts. And yes, Mr. Stoic himself, Thomas Vieira, is joining us. Thomas, all the way from TC. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, Joseph. Great to see you today.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor to have you. Would you like to also say hi to Taylor?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well,
Come on, Tommy. We're among friends here. Come on, Tommy V.
You know, Tay, you had your chance. You could have come taught my trombones.
Oh my God. Yeah, I want to bring attention to this because I came and taught his tubas, right? And look at this. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm rocking that sweet, let's see if I get this right, Traverse City Central Trojans swag. I see Thomas has got it on too. This guy over here with his Westlake swag. Hashtag fire up.
Come on, respect the lake. Come on, chaps. Not chaps. Joe keeps calling them chaps. I mean, I don't. It's not like chapped lips there, Joe. Come on, chaps. Soft ch.
Tubes of chapstick over there. All right, we got a lot to get into today. Before we do, I should give a quick shout out to my background. I'm sure everybody in the league, or at least most everybody, will appreciate Mr. Paul Bunyan. Oh, in the green and white, but. We'll get into that a little bit more later. How about some news today, some matchup recaps, a little buy and sell out, power rankings as usual, and our favorite segment, Spit Take with Mr. Thomas. I need some takeaways from the weekend, gentlemen. Who wants to start here? Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, Taylor. Yeah, let me get a drink check in here. What are you drinking?
Yeah. Come on. I got a beer here. I got to share with you.
Yeah, it's actually a real beer here today too.
Oh, cool it. This is, I'm drinking a Jolly Pumpkin Artisan Ales. It's from Dexter, Michigan. This is Calabaza Blanca. And let me see here. It's got a little bit of, all brewed with orange peel and coriander. It is a farmhouse wit beer. So,
all right.
A little bit fancier than my traditional Modelo or Bud Light Lime.
I'd say just a little bit. Thomas, what are you sipping on over there?
You know, I am also repping the mitten. I got a M43.
Oh, classic.
And I feel like I'm also the whiskey guy here in the group. So I got a little Early Times bottled in bond.
Beautiful.
Little furniture polish.
Little miniature pour there. Ain't nothing
Very
wrong.
Nice.
Is M43, is that the one where like you have to like roll the can on the ground to get like the sediment to release? Is that the one?
Yes.
Yes.
When is that
Super
out of
good
Comstock?
Williamston.
Yeah. Okay.
Classic.
Right on.
I'm sipping on so Odell Beckham Jr. went on the IR. I'm sipping his beer here from Odell Brewing Company. Little Oktoberfest here.
I think it's pronounced O'Douls.
Yeah.
Drinking some O'Doolies on Thursday night.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Hey, nothing wrong with a nice O'Doul.
What's an O'Doul? I honestly don't.
O'Doul?
What?
Excuse me, Joe. Educate the man, Tom. Are you kidding me? You don't know what O'Douls are?
I don't
Well,
think
it's just
so.
a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah, non-alcoholic
Oh,
beer.
see, that's why I don't know about it, because it's not real beer. Just like your Modelo over there.
Yeah, you're on that IPA life.
Yeah, well, All right, so how about some legit takeaways from the weekend here? Who wants to go first here?
I'll go first here. So my big thing, I felt this way last year. I just didn't want to speak up, and because I was afraid of getting destroyed on social media. But I think Lamar is good, but I certainly don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. I mean, I believe in. I mean, as a Kirk Cousins fan, okay, as a believer, or really lack thereof. I know what it's like to have a quarterback that can't win the big one. And so far, Lamar, he can't win the playoff games, and he's not looking good in any of these, Chiefs game, Steelers games. I just don't really believe in him. I do not think he's a top 5 quarterback. I did not buy into the hype. I thought it was one great season. I don't think Lamar is a top 5. And I don't know, is he a top 10 quarterback? Probably in the top 10, right? But yes. I certainly don't think he's really close to the top. And then my other takeaway, Herbert and Burrow are legit. Those dudes are good. Herbert's deep ball, incredible. And Burrow's certainly balling out offense-wise. As soon as his line can protect him, I mean, they're good picks. I think they're going to be the franchise guys.
I definitely agree. Like Herbert a lot.
It's interesting to me that, coming out of college, I really didn't think Herbert was legit at all. I saw him go 7-6 versus an okay MSU defense, and I was this guy's a straight up scrub. But I see him now in the Chargers after one punctured lung, and he's just balling out over here.
Well, he was throwing straight BBs and fastballs to the Oregon receivers, and those dudes couldn't catch. But that game was probably the saddest game I've ever seen in my life. 7-6. Absolutely terrible. Go green,
MSU
though. Go
offense.
green.
Go green, baby. Thomas, what's your takeaway?
My take is that the Patriots are dead and COVID has taken their soul. So I just want to throw a little stat for you. I know, Joe, you love fun facts.
Oh, love it. Coming in with the research,
baby.
You're a purveyor of fun facts. Here's a fun fact for you, Joe. Since Cam Newton has returned from testing positive for COVID-19, he has thrown 0 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, 3 fumbles. He's been sacked 7 times, and the Patriots have an 0-3 record overall.
This sounds like Lewerke in that 3-9 year, or who was it? Tyler, something like that. That's what it sounds like to me.
Tyler O'Connor.
Oh yeah, dude. O'Connor, baby.
But yeah, the defense can only carry them so far. But it's just you're hearing Bill Belichick start to make comments to the Boston media of we did what we could. We won 3 Super Bowls. The NFL is kind of a what have you done for me lately kind of league, and lately the Patriots have stunk on ice. So
that's very true. Who they have in their quarterback room over there, right? Anybody? You know who they got?
That?
Is it Lewerke?
Brian Lewerke. Oh my gosh, will we see it? I don't know. We'll see. So my takeaway from the weekend, I already have a feeling Taylor's going to disagree with me. Look, the Steelers are great. They're undefeated. I do think they're overrated, though. You look at their schedule so far, who they've beaten. The only real teams they've played have been the Ravens and the Titans. And both of those games, they lost, or they beat the Ravens by 4, the Titans by 3. Everybody else, they played the Giants, they played the Broncos. I mean, all these scrub teams. And you look at the rest of their season here, looks like it's I think they'll probably, they have a chance to go overrated. All they've got, or underrated. All right, let me start. They have a chance to go undefeated because the rest of their schedule is terrible. They have to play Baltimore again. Maybe they lose that game. But they can beat everybody else on their schedule. It won't be hard. They'll walk into the playoffs. It'll be fine. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but, I mean, I see the Chiefs beating them. I could see the Bills beating them. They do play the Bills. That could be another loss for them. I see the Seahawks beating them. I don't think that their defense is good enough to carry them to a Super Bowl. I don't think their offense is good enough to get them there. That's just my opinion. We'll see.
Yeah, the Steelers are good. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that they are definitely, they're not the Chiefs. I think obviously the Chiefs are the kind of the runaway favorite right now, but I don't know. I think the Steelers are great. But overrated, are people really saying that they're better than the Chiefs?
I have seen them higher in the power rankings, several different sources, which I after this week, which now that's not every source. There are sources that have the Chiefs ahead, 1 and 2, but ESPN has the Steelers at 1, the Chiefs at 2. I just think that's it's
Yeah.
For me, and I'm not saying this just because I watch the Chiefs and I like them, but I think they're clearly the number one power ranked team in the NFL against the Steelers, like hands down. That's just me. Mm-hmm. So, all right, before we get into some news, we had a couple other hot takes from Thomas. Thomas, do you want to talk about these? Or do you want me to just play them for you?
Yeah, let's Joe play them and then we'll get some reactions.
All right, I like it. All right.
Yeah, REC means receptions. Told you guys it's going to be a long pod. It's his first name. Who asked Evan to be on this podcast? Who asked him? I feel like I'm talking to Tim right now. Am I talking to Tim? Is this week 2 of having Tim on the pod? Do you even watch the games? This podcast is a sham.
All right, so you want to talk about that or you want me to play the other one?
Let's talk about that one. Right. And I didn't know which one you were going to play first, so I wanted to preempt it.
For the record, I had no idea that whatever just happened, I had no idea that was coming. What is this about?
This is, what I tell you all the time, Taylor, in private conversations is I say, you like to bully the guests on here. And, especially coming off a head-to-head matchup, I'm not going to let you bully me around like you bully these previous guests around, just insulting their knowledge of football, saying they don't know anything about the game, and the drops prove it. I mean, you can say like, no, I don't do that. Like, here's the drops. Like, you could, proof's in the pudding, my friend.
I really want to just deflect right now and just say fake news, but I will not, given the current climate of our country.
Now, here's the next one, and I can tell you that this is an unedited, completely put together sentence that Taylor has said in one line, one stream. This is completely unedited. I didn't have to do any work to make this. Okay, you ready?
Oh, no. Here we go. Ultimately, he didn't need it because he was playing my team, the best in the league. My team is loaded. My team is great. I love my team. I love my draft. I love my team. This is actually probably like one of my favorite things to talk about and to think about. My team is good. No one wants to play my team. Kind of disgustingly good on paper. I'm just really good at fantasy football.
Can you tell it's unedited?
I feel like I'm watching like the Colbert Report or like the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Like I feel like I'm watching like the Tan Suit episode of the Daily Show.
Oh man. Thomas texted me. We gotta explain this now. Thomas texted me, actually called me 2 weeks ago when he knew he was coming on the pod. And he's like, I'm gonna put a Google Doc together of timestamps so you can splice this stuff out. Sure enough, 2 days ago, he sends me a Google Doc with a ton of timestamps to just chop all this stuff out and put it all into one thing. So there you go. And he said they're called hot takes, Taykes. Just so you know. All right, boys.
I hate you guys so much. That was so mean. I love this, he bullies other people. Let's bully him back. I love that approach. Eye for an eye makes the whole world blind there, Tommy.
Ooh, I love it. All right, guys.
Well, you heard it. You heard it.
I need another beer.
Wait, I got a drop for that, too.
Can you get me another beer, please?
All right, let's jump into some news, boys.
News from around the league.
All right, some news. We're not going to get into too much of it because we've got a lot of other stuff to get to. Some big injuries. Jimmy Garoppolo's to the IR. Kenny G is week to week. Myles Gaskin, this was a surprise, sprained MCL. That explains why the Dolphins traded for DeAndre Washington on the Tuesday trade deadline. Jonathan Taylor came up with a foot injury.
Big pickup.
Yeah, big pickup there. Jonathan Taylor popped up with a foot injury. He has been updated to active for this weekend. He was questionable, limited participant in some practices, but is now fully active. George Kittle.
Oh, no.
R.I.P.
Oh, no.
Guess who's got
Taking
tight end
a
problems
victory
again?
lap, Tom.
I always have tight end problems. I do have Hawkinson on my bench, so I'm okay with that. But George Kittle's to the IR. He's expected to be out 8 weeks. That's a bummer. But more importantly, how about a little name change in our league? Oh, boy.
Oh man.
The Fighting Jordan Howards, who are 2-6 now, have now become the Cowboys that suck. And the Cowboys are not looking too good in the NFL either. I think actually they have 2 wins also. Right? I think so.
They do 2-6.
So,
2-6
all right,
now.
there you go. So Tim's matching his team with the Cowboys that are really not good at football. And one more thing, Evan, you knew it was coming. He picked up Matt Stafford on Tuesday, who goes right to the COVID IR slot on Wednesday.
Oh?
Bummer. That sucks. Nobody's.
So that's your
saw that
team.
coming.
That's your team, right, Tom? The Lions?
Yeah, Lions till I die, baby. Let's go.
Oh, except when you lived in Indianapolis and you became a Colts fan for
Colts
that 1 year they were good.
Colts till I die, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well, he's got a little AFC NFC team. That's okay, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I think
gosh.
so.
Well, he's over here telling me I'm a Cowboys fan when I told you my dad was a Cowboys fan and I grew up as one, but I'm not a Cowboys fan. Every time I get a
let
call.
me ask you, because they're 2-6, is that why you're not a Cowboys fan?
No. Hey, the Vikings are what, 2-5? Okay. I'm sticking with them. Skull, baby. Skull till I die.
All right. Well, he's just saying that because he can't switch between 2 bad teams too much. All right. Let's move forward to some little matchup recap here, boys.
Matchup recap.
Okay, some big games this week, some more shakeups. We're officially more than halfway through the fantasy football regular season. So things are starting to take shape here. First game of the week, AJ's Brownies defeating and Lisa 122.95 to 113.75. Big storyline here. Rob Gronkowski, Taylor's favorite tight end, scores another touchdown, has 14.1 fantasy points in the victory on Monday Night Football.
Hey, he is a late bloomer. He is going off right now. He's averaging like a touchdown a game in the last 4 games. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He just had to get into game shape over there. I mean, he came in at like $160. He just had to, put on some pounds in the old weight room there.
Yes. Well, that, and also, too, he needed O.J. Howard to get injured, I think. But, hey, turns out, what was it, a 6th-round pick for Marshall? Turns out it's actually not a bad pick, and we were really getting on him earlier in the season for that. So, you know what?
It's not a bad pick. I still don't want to say it's not a good pick yet. I mean, he's the tight end 10 on the year. Still not worth,
Okay.
the 6th-round pick yet. All right, let's not anoint him.
Taylor will still dog you, Marshall. All right, next game of the week, the Fighting Jordan Howards. Oh, excuse me, the Cowboys that suck losing to the injured reserves, 129.95 to 92.7. That's right, Kelsey has 2 wins now, largely because of DK Metcalf. It was Tyler Lockett's week last week. It was DK Metcalf's week this week. 40.1 fantasy points. And he got another 20.7 from Julio Jones. Big win for Kels here.
Yeah, scary thing is Zeke right now. Zeke has gone from being like a bona fide RB1, and now he last 3 games, he's got 12, 6, and 8. And the rough thing is that, playing Washington and Philly. Those are his 2 lowest games. Now he plays Pittsburgh, and then they got the bye. So that's really, really tough for Zeke.
Yeah, it's not ideal there. All right. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air coming so close, but losing just barely to the AB Redemption Arcs, 129.7 to 127.95, less than 2 points. Woo! I think Derek said that if someone had not thrown an interception, he would have won. I think that's what he said. I can't remember. Brandon Ayuk, now the number 1 wide receiver in San Francisco, had 23.1 points. Like to see that. And Devontae Adams, again, is clearly the only wide receiver that Green Bay has ever. And he just keeps eating. 30.3 fantasy points for him. No comment from the field.
Wide receiver. Well, I was going to say, I'm just like in awe of his wide receivers right now. Devontae Adams. And then he's got the Robert Woods Cooper Cup stack. Both of them had 20 plus. And then sitting on his bench, he's got, the greatest wide receiver in the league, Darius Slayton. But then he's got Antonio Brown and Corey Davis has been balling out. So, it's good looking good for his wide receivers.
He's got
They're trending
there.
up.
Yeah. All right, this is the game I really want to get to. I have in our document, one of you two, I'm assuming Taylor, put this week's Poop Bowl. Stat Padford defeats Hooked on a Thielen 94.35 to 88.55. Wow.
That was terrible.
Low scoring.
Yeah, I had Joe, your show notes are accurate. I had two players who actually scored me points, and then everybody else just kind of, showed up to the game.
Yeah, it looks like that. You had Russell Wilson, though, with 30-plus points again, and Keenan Allen again showing up for 20-plus. But yeah, that's really all you had this week, right? Yeah.
No, I mean, in weeks ago, I feel like I tried to trade you and Taylor, both Keenan Allen, for peanuts. And you were like, no, don't want Keenan Allen.
No, not for peanuts. Not for peanuts. You drive a hard bargain, all right? Easy there.
Bro, it was like for like a wide receiver, too. Or not a wide receiver,
no,
too.
You wanted a running back.
A running back, too. You're right.
No, you wanted Joe Mixon, who's an RB1 when he's playing.
And you ended up trading me a guy who's not as good in Robbie Anderson.
Well, I got Robbie Anderson, and up until that point, Robbie Anderson has been dominating, and he's had some weak games in the last 2 weeks, but he's still great. I was looking for consistency. He's a wide receiver 11. I'll take that. But yes, you're right. Keenan Allen is balling out.
Yeah,
as of late.
I think when we were talking about it, it was when Tyrod Taylor was still quarterback. Tyrod. I was not a fan of that experience. And I mean, Keenan's just been a beast with Justin Herbert. So, yeah. All right. That's it. We don't need to go over the last game because it wasn't really a game.
Stop. Come on.
Pooch Top Joe Bottom
tripled your points.
The Teddy Brewskis 219.3 to 90.4. Yeah. I mean, Pooch, I have in our doc, I don't have any players from my team in here because they all sucked. I have all three players from Pooch's team. Pat Mahomes with 40-plus. Dalvin Cook with 4 touchdowns. Dalvin, Minnesota Vikings offense Cook. 4 touchdowns, 48.6 fantasy points. And Gio Bernard helped him out a little bit too. Yeah. This is officially the highest score in our league history. Pooch, I'm going to go ahead and put a little asterisk by this because this is the first year we haven't had kickers. So, of course, those scores are going to be higher. Oh, no. Oops. He's not going to like that. But yes, impressive win. I was talking to some people. I was talking to Pooj actually, and it was a weird week in the NFL where not there were a few players that really kind of showed up, and the normal players that you're usually counting on just kind of didn't show up unless you had this list, and that list happened to be Pooj's entire team. Really impressive win, and yeah, it was just no way to stop the bleeding for me this weekend. All right. Some standings. Oh my gosh, bless you.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. You were frozen there for a second. What did you say? Did you bless me on that sneeze?
I blessed you on that sneeze.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank goodness that's not a symptom of Rona.
I care for you. I care for you, Taylor. Thomas doesn't, but I do.
No, you don't, but whatever.
Okay. All right. So standings in the East. Fresh Prince of Valera at 5-3. The AB Redemption Arcs at 5-3. Tight up at the top. AJ's Brownies at 4-4. All three still in the mix there. Cowboys That Suck are down at 2-6, and Lisa at 1-7 in the East. And then the West, Thomas. Stat Padford 7-1 at the top still. Pooch Top Joe Bottom coming in second at 5-3. The Teddy Brewskis coming in at 4-4 right behind. That's not right. I'm 5-3 too. I have this in here wrong. That's a nice surprise there. So Teddy Brewski's at 5-3.
Error.
Hooked on a Thielen at 4-4, and the injured reserves at 2-6.
Buy in or sell out. Cha-ching.
All right, we've been waiting all pod to talk about this. Today's question for buy in or sell out: will Mel Tucker be the next Mark D'Antonio for Spartan football? Obviously, a big win for the Spartans, 27-24 over the other school down the road. Go Green. So what do you guys think here?
Tom, you take this. You start off.
I would have to sell on this just on the basis of I think they're different coaches overall. So will they both be great Spartan head coaches? Yes. Mark D'Antonio, when you think about his strengths, Mark D'Antonio was elite at finding diamonds in the rough. 2 stars, backups on their high school team. He goes to a random, Thursday night Ohio game and says, okay, this guy's going to be a star. And then he finds Le'Veon Bell. Versus Mel Tucker is going to be an elite recruiter. He's going to find talent. He's going to win states like Georgia and Florida and Louisiana, where he's already having inroads, in the 21 and 22 class. You're already seeing, 4 stars that would be locks to Michigan. Rayshon Benny, just being, the big offensive lineman out of like Oak Park, would be a lock to Michigan. Is now trending towards Michigan State, going to commit in 4 days now. So you're going to see a different Michigan State team. They're not going to be as hardened, as battle tested, but they're going to be more talented. They're going to be faster. They're going to be more able off the bat. So I think that in the end result, you'll see as many wins, but I think the process will be different. So in that respect, I'm going to sell.
Okay. Do you think his success ultimately, you take into account what Mark D'Antonio, what he accomplished in his how many years, 10, 11 years as a coach, 12 years as a coach. Do you think that Mel will match that?
From a success standpoint, I would say yes, in that you're looking at what did Mark D do? He got to Indy twice. Do I think that Mel can get to Indy twice? Yes. Do I think that he can make
to 3 Big Ten championships?
Oh, sorry. So do I think that he can get there, as much as Mark did? Yes, I do. Do I think that he can make the playoff in its current construction? Probably not. But do I think that he can be competing with Ohio State year in, year out for a Big Ten title? Yes.
Nice.
That's interesting. The Ohio State thing is tough for me. I just think, who would we say is the second best team in the ACC? Like the U? We say it's like Miami.
It's Boston College based on last week's result.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like that, where it's like the U. Do they really stand a chance against Clemson at this point? No. I think Ohio State is really close to Clemson, and I just don't think I'm not a defender of Jim Harbaugh. But I think that, the fact that he's never been to Ohio State, and, I think a lot of Michigan fans, get him out of there, he's bad. And he's not bad, but, who is beating Ohio State, year in, year out? Who's really competing with that team in the Big Ten? No one is, So I think that with Michigan State, obviously, huge fan, so glad, so grateful for Mark D'Antonio, everything that he accomplished. But I don't know, I honestly view it as I think we're very lucky to have won a lot of the games that we won. I mean, you can't look at that trouble with the snap game and think that was oh yeah, we totally deserve. No, I was there at that game. We were terrible most of that game. And then, yes, we stuck with it, but it was luck that really won that game. And I just don't I think when I think about the Ohio State game, I don't think that anybody is beating Ohio State. And I'm not trying to be a Jim Harbaugh defender here, but no one is beating Ohio State. They are so close to the Clemson, Alabamas of the world. I just don't think anyone's coming close to that. So you said, Thomas, are we going to compete with the Ohio States? I don't think that that's going to happen. And I don't think that should be our expectation. I think that we need to set our sights on U of M, Penn State, and being on that kind of level, being a consistent top 25 team. That would be great. But as far as is Mel Tucker going to be Mark D'Antonio, I don't think so. But I don't think it's because Mel Tucker isn't going to be very good. I think it's because the coaching just in general is so much better. When Mark D'Antonio came in and was like lighting up the Big Ten, 2010 with the conference title, 13, 15. That's when, Michigan was floundering. They had like no stability with their program. Urban Meyer was just getting started there. And then you had Wisconsin, who was kind of going through a transition period. And you had Iowa, who they're always kind of up and down. And Penn State, they were really rough in the wake of the Jerry Sandusky scandal. So I think Mark D'Antonio took advantage of a lot of those things. And yes, he did find diamonds in the rough, but I just don't see us recreating that success, which to me, that's what makes it so special that we lived through those years and we were fans through those years and went to college during those years. But like, are we ever going to make the playoff again? I just really doubt that. Are we going to be winning Big Ten championships? I think as long as Ohio State's here, no, I don't think so. So I don't think he's going to accomplish the same as Mark D'Antonio, but I think that our team is going to hopefully be a lot more consistent.
See, and that's okay. So I think that's the key right there, because I think I buy that take too, and I agree with Thomas. Whereas you can already see our recruiting is better. The offense is we lived in a time when it was, if the Spartans got the ball back with 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter, you're not going to go and score points. You're going to run the clock out and go to halftime. Or I remember like in the Big Ten championship game against Iowa, that fourth quarter, we got the ball back. Thomas turned to me because we watched that game together. I don't know if you remember that, Thomas. You turned to me and you're like, all right, we need a classic MSU 8.5 minute drive with a touchdown. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So I think offensively we look better. It's going to be more of a kind of like, air raid, maybe not exactly air raid offense, but it's going to be much more likely to score more points. And I think recruiting.
Well, let me stop you there, because I think with Mel Tucker, like I don't really care necessarily how well he does. Like I don't care about our record at the end of the season. Ultimately, I care how we play. And the thing about Michigan State that drove me up the wall is, yes, that we rose up for the big games, but then we would just I never wanted to watch Michigan State play Indiana because it was going to be so conservative. And it was like, we should be blowing this team out. And as long as Mel Tucker passes the ball and the games where we should win against Illinois, as long as we crush those teams, I'm okay with taking the loss against a Michigan and a Penn State. Right. That's the thing with Mark D'Antonio I couldn't stand. And there was a moment in the Michigan game in the second quarter where it was like, why are we running the ball? Passing the ball is working. We need to, exploit their DBs. But we just kept running. And I was like, oh no, this feels familiar. But, in the second half, we obviously didn't. Right. So that's my hope for Mel. It's just, can we not be conservative?
No, and I agree with that. And I think what we've seen already is he's going to attack a little bit more. And I agree with Thomas about the recruiting. It's just going to be such a better pipeline for the organization. And I don't know, maybe I think I partly agree with you, Taylor, is I don't think I see us making the playoff again, so I'll sell on that. But I definitely think, overall, even if the record doesn't show it or the accomplishments don't show it, just from a pure football watching standpoint, the Spartans might look a little bit better under Mel Tucker. All right, enough about MSU. Let's talk about some power rankings in our league.
Power rankings.
All right, just like normal, Thomas has inputted his power rankings in here. So we got all three of us in here, starting from the bottom. Number 10, the 1-7 and Lisa's. Oh, it's been rough. Started out strong at the top of the power rankings. Won a game the first week of the season and has dropped 7 straight. But hey, Kevin, you're playing me this week, so count it as a dub. And all right, let's move on. How about number 9? Oh, the Cowboys that suck. Coming in at
I'm so surprised. So surprised about Tim's team because it looked like, okay, Tim's just losing a lot of tight matchups in the beginning of the year. He'll turn it around, and he just hasn't. And looking at his roster, the way the construction is right now, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's been a tough ride for him, and he's running into some injuries now too. And we'll see if he can pick up from there. All right, number 8 and number 7. AJ's Brownies coming in at number 8. Injured reserves at number 7. Kelsey's climbing in the ranks here, boys.
Kelsey is scary.
Yeah, I think as the Falcons do well, so will Kelsey. That's kind of an obvious take, but I think that the Falcons are set and primed to go on a run there, and I think that Kelsey is as well. I tried to trade Kelsey in like week 2 or 3 for DK Metcalf. I was like, what do you want for DK? Because I wanted that Seahawk stack. And he was like, you can't give me anything. And, up until 2 weeks ago, I was dancing on his grave. And now here he is coming back. So here we go.
Rearing his ugly head.
Man, DK's definitely been a beast. Coming in at number 6, the AB Redemption Arcs. Evan got a dub this week, and he gets Antonio Brown, his namesake, for this weekend. First time in Tampa Bay. Should be.
Yeah, I'm really curious. What do you guys think? Over or under 10 points on AB?
I think I'll take the over because I think he gets 5 receptions in this game, and that's already 5 points in our scoring format. I'll take the over, but I don't I would take the under on 12. So I mean, it's a thin margin.
Right around 10.
Me. Yeah. What do you think, Thomas?
Tom, what say you?
I'll take the under personally. I don't, I think a lot of fantasy is derived in touchdowns. I think that he will get a couple catches, but I don't think there will be any of significant length, and I don't think that he'll get a score.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's a little bit different if Chris Godwin is in. Right now, Chris Godwin is questionable still with that finger injury, but we'll see what happens. All right, number 5, Tay, yourself, hooked on a Thielen, coming in right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, this past week was an absolute dumpster fire for my team. I was trying to pick up anybody and everybody off the waiver wire. I had DJ Chark. I almost had to start Mike Gesicki.
Classic.
It was really, really, really tough. But I don't know. My team is my starters are good as long as there's no significant bye week people. But I have just so little depth. Yeah. hard to be in the top 4 when, if I have one player that gets injured, my season's tanked.
Right. Yeah. It's been a little bit of tough sledding here for Tay. Coming in at number 4, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Despite the close loss to Evan, he's still Derek. Oh my gosh. Derek
Derek.
Too much.
Devin,
Derek is still ranked ahead of Evan, and I think it's just because of his team and their capabilities of blowing up Kyler Murray, Derrick Henry, Calvin Ridley. So that's what does it for me.
Well, he's got JaMychal Hasty starting right now. It's yikes.
It's tough sledding there. Coming in at number 3.
Yeah, that's the...
It's the what?
Well, I was just going to say, it's the classic Taylor defense. His team is really deep. I would start every player on his team this week. It's just, that's Derek. Derek's team is just solid every week in and week out.
Coming in at number 3, the Teddy
Joe's
Brewskis.
the man. Joe is the man. Joe LaFever.
Despite dropping a turd cigar this week, I somehow stayed in at number 3 and don't really know how. But yeah, I just had one of those weeks with my team. I just needed I only needed 130 points from Tyler Lockett to win. Unfortunately, I did not get that this week, which was a big bummer. Coming in at number 2,
that 9 touchdown game, yeah.
Oh, it would have been beautiful. Coming in at number 2, Pooch Top Joe Bottom, again commanding win this weekend, almost 220 points. His team looks good, and he's just moving right along. We got to talk about this though, because still at number 1 in the rankings, Stat Padford. Now, Thomas, I need to talk to you about this, because this guy, ladies and gentlemen, has called myself, and I'm assuming Taylor, on numerous occasions, complaining that he started the season off at number 9 in the power rankings, which is factually incorrect. He was number 7. I also want to point out that he's complaining because he's never number 1, and he was always in the game of the week. And Thomas, here you come onto this podcast, and in your rankings, put yourself at number 3 instead of number 1. Explain yourself.
Okay, Joe, so here's the thing. And Taylor, no offense, love you too, but I'm talking to Joe right now. So, Joe, you are absolutely and factually correct in your assertion that I am, in fact, in the game of the week every week. Look it up.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
Like I've listened to every podcast in the last week, just trying to find drops on Taylor. And I am in the game of the week every week. I seem to win that game every week. However, in, I think, episode 5, Taylor ranted about the points against. My points against is the lowest of any team. And I think I'm like 4th right now for points for. My issue with my team right now is that I just don't score touchdowns. So my players, now I am injured. I got Joe Mixon out. I got Michael Thomas out. I got Chris Carson out. So that's right away, 3 of my top players are week to week. I've toyed with calling myself the Fighting Questionables. And
that'd be great.
Yeah, and it's just like week to week I'm playing the game of like, I don't know if they're going to start. So my issue is that I have to throw in these guys who I don't know are going to score touchdowns. And touchdowns get you points. That's like obvious statement of the day. But like touchdowns get you points, right? So like that's what we need on my team. And for the last 3 weeks combined, I've gotten 5 total touchdowns from non-quarterback positions. So in that respect, I am nervous going forwards about the upside potential of my team. So that's why I put myself number 3.
All right.
So the too long didn't listen version. Thomas wants to score lots of points, and touchdowns help him score more. So yeah, thanks for that insight there, Tom. Appreciate that.
Yes, breaking news.
I try to be verbose over here. I try to explain to the viewers when slander is thrown my way by a man with a T-shirt of my own school.
That's right.
This man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Thomas Vieira is here for the people. Here for the people. All right. Well, let's see if you're in the game of the week this week, Thomas. Let's check out some matchups. All right. I told Kevin he's got the dub this week because he's playing the 5-3 Teddy Brewskis, looking for a win for Kevin. He's 1-7, hoping to pick one up here against me. We'll see what happens. I told Evan a while back, it's classic Teddy Brewskis to win the games we're not supposed to and lose the games we're supposed to win. So we'll see what happens. All right, second game of the week. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at 5-3, taking on the Cowboys that suck at 2-6. Man, Tim could really use a win here, boys.
Yeah, JaMychal Hasty currently, as at the time of recording, has 1.7 points, and it's about halftime. So already a rough start for Derek.
Yeah.
Let's go, Tim.
You don't like to see that. All right, next game of the week. Oh, it's not the game of the week though here, Thomas. Stan Padford at 7-1, taking on the injured reserves at 2-6. How you feeling, Thomas? You giving me that quavering puppy dog lip.
Like I said earlier, I feel like Kelsey is a dark horse candidate for, play of the week every week. So I am always worried to play him.
All right. You know who the Falcons are playing?
No.
I actually don't either.
Denver.
Denver. Okay.
Don't care. It's a matchup lock. It's like the Chiefs.
I'd love to hear it. All right, next game of the week, the AB Redemption Arcs at 5-3, taking on AJ's Brownies at 4-4. A pivotal matchup here in the East Division. Yeah, Marshall could gain
Which
a game.
I would argue this is the real game of the week.
We can call this the game of the week. I'm fine with that. I think
we should call this the game of the week. This one's tight in the records. It looks really, really close. I'm really curious as to what's going to happen to the quarterback slot for Evan's team and the defensive slot. But I think this is going to be a close one. Lots of implications here.
All right.
This to me is the.
It's the what?
This to me is the who cares bowl of like two middle of the road teams.
Ouch.
It's just like battle of the 6th seed.
Yeah, shots fired.
Well, it's interesting though. They're fighting for that playoff spot. And last game of the week, which I guess according to Taylor is not the game of the week, even though this is the same deal here. Hooked out of Thielen at 4-4, taking on Pooj Top Joe Bottom at 5-3. Again, could be a tight one here, and you're looking to gain a game on Pooj here, Taylor.
I will lose. I will lose, and it will not be close.
And I guess that's all you have to say about that.
Yeah, I'm just telling you right now, it will not be close. I will lose.
All right. Well, those are your matchups for the week. Now for a little bit of fun and games here.
He's a bad man. Are you about to engage in blasphemy? Stay off the weed. I mean, my God. How much more can you stink?
Oh, I'm so excited to have Thomas on for this rousing round of spit take. Yeah, we've got some barn burners here, boys.
Those of you, you guys, some of you guys don't know, but like Thomas and I are like sworn enemies. Like we cannot agree on anything, it seems like. All we do is argue and fight. So I'm excited for this.
Yes. It's going to be wonderful. All right, so the first one, you want to start it off here, Taylor?
I'll start it off, yeah. So my big thing, hot take, spit take, I think sushi is disgusting. And I see people that will go, HEB is a store we have down here, but people will go to HEB. It's like, the less good version of Meijer, but they'll buy the sushi from there and they'll eat it. And it's just disgusting. I mean, I think that it's gross. It's raw fish. It seems to always be just like sitting out. And it just doesn't look appetizing. But then even like if you want like good quality sushi, it's expensive. And it's like small little bits. It's like bite size. It's like fun size candy bars in terms of size. But the price is like you're buying a steak dinner. So I don't understand the allure of sushi. I mean, to me, I'd rather have like just rice and orange chicken, for goodness sakes. So I just think sushi is disgusting. Also, the taste. It's overrated in terms of the price and the taste. It's just not that good.
I enjoy sushi, but only if it's like vegetarian sushi or cooked meat.
Yeah, what did you say earlier? What did you say earlier, Joe? You said I only enjoy what is it? What kind of sushi?
Well, you could get
not
sushi
raw
that's
sushi.
Like, yeah, not raw sushi.
Yeah, so just like rice and vegetables.
It's a thing. They have like they'll put actual like cooked meat in sushi, or you get like fried like.
So you
sushi
don't like
rolls.
sushi. So you don't like sushi.
It's still called sushi. It's still called sushi on the menu. You can't argue with that.
See, it's not though. I mean, I guess in technicality only, but Taylor. So I've got a couple things for you. Number one, your subtle Texas flexes are noted.
Hold on. I said that it was slightly less good than Meijer.
No, hold on. No. Rewind to your first sentence of HEB, which is a store we have in Texas here. It's like every week I have to hear, I teach at Westlake High School.
Oh my gosh.
Buddha and Gandhi,
chaps.
graduates of Westlake High School. Go Shaps.
Hey, Buddha he's valedictorian. He's valedictorian for us.
Socrates,
Socrates.
aced physics, at Westlake High School.
Plato was a starting offensive lineman for Westlake Shaps.
But what I'm saying here with sushi is you're paying for the quality that you get. It's not like beef. It's not like, any other kind of land animal. This stuff deteriorates at a faster rate and needs to be farmed at a higher quality in order to command that price point. So like to your point, Taylor, with the expensiveness of the sushi, like, yeah, I'm willing to pay more for expensive sushi, just like I'm willing to pay more for higher grade steak.
I would rather go to Domino's, spend $12, get 2 medium pizzas, 2 topping. That's what I'd rather do.
That's because you're still a college kid at heart.
Also, Taylor, I think you meant to say Papa John's there. All right, next take here.
Papa John's, $12 gets me like half a slice from Papa John's, okay?
All right. This is personal to me. I cannot stand the commentator Gus Johnson. He mostly does college football. Can't stand him. I actually kind of like Joe Buck, and I think Joe Buck is definitely better than Gus Johnson. I cannot stand Gus Johnson. Every time he calls a Michigan State game, he's always rooting for the other team, you can tell. And quite frankly, I have never understood the hate on Joe Buck. I think he calls a nice game. I think he, puts pauses in the right space of when a team wins a championship, the last thing you want to hear from the commentator is them commentating. You want them to leave space so you can watch the players enjoy their championship, all do that stuff, and that's what he does. I appreciate him. I'm fine with him. I don't mind him.
Joe, let me ask you a question. Do you like vanilla ice cream?
There's nothing wrong with vanilla ice cream.
Do you like tapioca pudding?
I don't think I've had tapioca pudding, Thomas.
Okay, Joe Buck is the vanilla ice cream, not vanilla bean, vanilla ice cream.
Like French vanilla? Is that what you're saying?
No, not even that. Like H-E-B store brand vanilla ice cream. He's fine. He does a great job. Gus Johnson brings the fuego, the queso to the call every time. Have you listened to the highlights of his college basketball when he was allowed to do March Madness?
I have not.
That is a disservice unto yourself.
Yeah, you're just uneducated.
Look,
man.
no, let me tell you this though. Whose voice is better? It's clearly Joe Buck's. No, Gus Johnson does not have an announcer voice. He just doesn't have it.
It's Joe Buck, like if you're in a lecture hall, but it's Gus Johnson. If you care about the game, it's Gus Johnson.
I will die on this hill that this is Joe Buck is better than Gus Johnson. That's the way I feel.
You need to watch those highlight reels and then get back to me on that.
All right, I'll see what I can do. All right, next up, the worst genre of music. Thomas,
I'll start.
Oh, you starting us out, Tay? All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I can't stand, and I have tried to listen to it. I really have, but like rap and hip hop, I just can't stand it, y'all. I can't. I've got kids that will send me like Spotify playlists sometimes of like, I'll ask them, hey, just like send me some music, and yeah, it's terrible. I can't stand it. And I know that it's ironic because this league's like name is like after a rap song.
Which, side note, I didn't find that out until literally like the beginning of this season. Anyway.
Yeah, so like the 4th year. But yeah, I just can't stand it. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I can listen to anything. I really can't. I really am like a very picky music person. I'm not a picky eater, but I'm a very picky music person. But I can't listen to rap. Like if it's playing in a room, I'll just leave.
All right, Thomas, what do you think?
I really can listen to almost anything. I can appreciate the musical value of.
Oh my gosh, so hoity-toity. Well, I'm a true artist, so yeah.
Well, Taylor, tell me about Kendrick Lamar. How much $1 cost?
I don't know what that is.
Go and listen to that song, and then get back to me. But it's just like the messaging that you can have with the lyricism of the high-end hip hop. Now,
you're such a poet.
I'm not talking about your Shap Nation over there. Your kids who are into Lil Uzi Vert and all this mumble rap garbage.
Don't know what that is.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, don't listen to the kids, listen to Pujan. If you want hip hop, listen to Pujan.
All right. Well, I'm telling you, I try it every time. So Pujan, if you're listening, man, just send me a Spotify playlist of what you got. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to like it. I just can't do it.
Well,
Joe, do you have one?
I think hands down, I'll be quick here because we're going to roll through these next ones. Hands down, country music is the worst music ever created.
Yeah, I don't like country, but
it's you can't tell me otherwise. It's terrible. I hate it. All right, Thomas, you have several hot takes or spit takes here for us. We're gonna roll through some of these. Let's get started.
So my first one, I guess, is Kelsey. If you're listening, I have tried to allude to this all podcast. My first take is I believe that Kelsey will make the playoffs this year. I think that he is coming on fire. I think that he is, his team, the Atlanta Falcons, are gonna, really bring the heat in the second half of the year. Taylor's gonna be glad because he has Matt Ryan, but I think that Kelsey will sneak into the 6th seed this year and upset Evan. Sorry, Evan.
You think? Okay. Well, okay. My thing with this is look at the other teams. Okay, you're talking about him going up. He has 2 less wins than my team, than not Antonio Brown, but AJ Brown's Brownies, whatever, AB's Brownies, and he's also got to take over Evan. It's just not going to happen. I just think he's too far gone. He might be lighting on fire, but he's just too soaking wet. It's not going to happen.
Anything can happen in fantasy. All right, how about your next one, Thomas?
This one is especially for Taylor. I think that Austin, Texas has an overrated food scene. We talk about Austin as a food mecca, but other than Mexican food and barbecue, everything else is second best. So to treat it as a top 2 food city in America is just a joke to me.
So who should be on this tier then?
New York.
Here we go, tiers again.
San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami.
Traverse City.
Traverse City.
TC.
Hashtag
Minnesota, St. Paul.
Minnesota, the city of Minnesota.
Yeah.
The city of Minnesota.
Minneapolis, St. Paul. No, but I think that Austin is a bottom tier 1, borderline tier 2 food city.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not here saying that it's better than New York. Well, first of all, New York is 40 times the size and 90 times the population. So I'm not going to sit here and compare it to New York and Los Angeles and Chicago. And it's very, very solid. It's very, very solid. I don't think anyone. You said people are saying it's the second bet. I don't know anybody that's saying that, but it's very, very good. Very, very good. You can't argue with that.
He's only saying that because he lives down there and he cooks down there and he loves to cook, so he's counting his food in with the total tally.
Absolutely. We got to have the draft down here, boys.
Yeah,
got to have the draft down here in Austin.
I'd be down for that. All right, Thomas, I have major problems with your next one here.
My next one here is that Kansas City has nothing on Memphis barbecue. Now, I have not been to Kansas City, so I can't speak directly. But
no, you have to pause. You have to stop. You have to stop right now. You have to stop right now. You can't have an opinion.
No, I've never had Kansas City barbecue, but I know it's not as good as Memphis.
I've never had it, but I think that this is worse than this.
Hold on. But
why am I holding? This is stupid. Oh, you're gonna act like a child now? Oh, they won't let me speak, so
I'm waiting on you, Taylor.
What a teacher. I'll talk when you guys are silent.
All right, Thomas, you can talk. We're silent now.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for this point here.
I've had barbecue sauce from Kansas City, and it has nothing on the barbecue food that I have received from Memphis, specifically Central Barbecue in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, now let me ask you a question here. When you think of barbecue,
you're ridiculous.
Now, when you think of barbecue, do you think the first thing you think of is, oh man, I wonder what sauce is on this? It's the meat. Like, that's barbecue. We're talking about the meat, dude. Like,
barbecue sauce is a condiment. Barbecue.
Thank you. It's an actual thing. Like, I get that the condiment is on the meat too, and that adds to the whole barbecue experience. But you can't tell me you're going to go and say that Memphis barbecue, because you've had everything. You've had the meat, you've had the sauce, you've had the sides, all of it in Memphis. You're going to go say, hands down, better than this one barbecue sauce that I've had in Kansas City. And mind you, I can go out and drive 5 minutes away, get to a barbecue place, and another 5 minutes, another place, and another one is like 10 minutes. Dude, you can go wherever you want here. Hands down, this place is better than anywhere else in the country. That's all.
I've never seen you get so heated. Oh my gosh.
Now, Joe, amount of barbecue places does not equal quality of barbecue places.
Well,
you're talking about like, oh, I can get to
crappy. You know about the quality because you've been here? You know about the quality? Oh, you're able to comment on the quality having never been here? You know, reading Yelp reviews does not mean that you're educated.
I've had Missouri barbecue. I've been to St. Louis.
Yeah, you know St. Louis is not Kansas City barbecue, though, right? Like, that's a very distinct... No, it's
Missouri is Missouri.
It's a very distinct thing.
That is not true.
Kansas City barbecue is its own thing. Like, you got to understand that. Like, St. Louis barbecue is not anywhere close to Kansas City barbecue.
Sure it is.
Can I just hit the mute button on him? Can we move on?
All right, yeah, we got to move on because this oh man, this is getting heated here. All right, Thomas's next one. I'll read it. I'll get it out there for you, Thomas. I'll let you take a breather after this one because clearly what's coming out of your mouth
think on your sins there, Tom.
Not the truth. All right, MSU will be back competing for a Big Ten title within 3 years, says Thomas.
I say no because Ohio State exists.
Thomas?
I say competing because I think they'll be down to the last week with OSU with an upset special on deck.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think I would agree with that. I guess when you phrase it as competing for a Big Ten title, I tend to think in the championship game. Whereas, like, the way you're talking is still trying to win the division. But I could see that. All right. I've got one here for both of you. Okay? And I think you're going to like this one. The Spartan Marching Band is hands down harder than Carolina Crown. All right, I don't think that's true.
What am I talking to Tim right now?
Thomas has never done it, so he is clearly the most eligible to have an opinion on this. So go ahead, take it, Tom.
I had to throw this one out there for Tim. I strongly disagree with this myself. But first, Thomas, I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Having never done one of them, then yeah, let's hear it.
Again, this is the same thing as the Kansas City barbecue, but we'll hear it. We'll listen to it.
I mean, do you want to talk first here, Taylor?
I'm giving you the floor.
Okay.
I'm trying to be quiet so you'll actually talk instead of, sitting there like my third grade teacher.
So, and this question is being sprung on me, so allow me to pontificate here. So, Tim, if you're listening, we've had many a discussion during Quintet about this. Overall, in terms of stamina, in terms of raw energy, in terms of amount of energy needed to complete the task, I would say that Carolina Crown is more difficult. Specifically, the year that was in discussion, which is my first year. Taylor, you don't know anything about this, bud. 2013, if you remember, Taylor, I got a ring from that year.
My gosh, I know.
You're on the same team here, and he's still throwing shade at you. All right, anyway.
So 2013 Carolina Crown, getting through that opener is more difficult than the series, and I'll leave it at that.
I'm going to jump in here too. I agree that like drum corps is much harder than Spartan marching band, but I should say for our listeners who don't know what we're talking about, obviously Spartan marching band is the band for Michigan State. Carolina Crown is a drum corps, which is similar to a marching band. They compete all summer. It's all brass. It's all percussion, and color guards, pit. But I mean, it's a marching activity, right? Yeah, color guards. There's multiple color guards, just like there's multiple podcasts. But it's a marching art. We'll say that just for those that don't know. You can give a better explanation than me.
I just want to say there was a previous podcast that I was combing through for Taylor Drops, and it was brought up that Taylor was second place. I want to just bring up that he was in fact third place every year during his high school career at Rockford High School.
Yeah.
He was third place every year. And then at Carolina Crown, we didn't do any better in 2014. We were fifth. In 2015, he was the semifinal world champion, also known as the finals runner-up. In 2016, we were third place, and then his age out, his horn sergeant year, when he was in charge of the culture of the group, they were third place. So I think that third place is in his blood over there.
Yeah, and I'm the third band director at my school.
All right,
I'm also the third born here in my family.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
Yeah.
Thomas, I'm going to let you take over this last one.
All right, so this last one, some of you might be aware of our brass quintet days. So we decided to do a separate power ranking, a brass quintet power ranking.
Joe, I gotta say this, when we brought up the idea, I thought it was hilarious, but Joe was like, yeah, let's do it, because Joe knows he's gonna be the number one.
I only do things if I know it's going to be safe, Taylor.
Yeah, he's like, well, my ego really needs this.
All right, take it away, Thomas.
So, according to Taylor, we have to do all of the trombone players.
No, you did. I know. That is according to... I voted for no. I do not want to be included. I was in it for like 6 hours.
Okay, so just the lock at number 5. I'm going to go Taylor on trombone. Just not enough experience.
Is this the trombone rankings only?
You are the conglomerate trombone rankings. So not enough experience, not enough time on the instrument to put us over the top.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Number 4, I'm going to go Tim. Sorry, Tim. You spent too much time buying soccer cleats.
Oh, no.
And other matters not affecting the group. Number 3, I'm going to go Pooj.
Oh
no, he got him.
Ego! He got an ego!
He's got that trumpet player ego.
Pooj, I love you. I love you like a brother, but I'm the first trumpet here. Okay. Second, I'm going to go myself. Just comparing me to Pooj. Superior musician. Check. Superior technical player. Check. Now, Pooj has the overall range on me. Yes. Pooj has the overall multiple tonguing speed. Debatable. Okay. But when we're talking about pure, unadulterated musicianship and just ability on the trumpet, I got to take myself in this one. So I'm going to put myself second, and then just, it's not fair. I'm going to put number 1, Brandon Ridenauer.
All right, Joe, give us yours. Come on, we got to hear it.
Oh, you got to hear mine too?
Yeah, come on, Joe.
I'm going to pass.
No, Joe, you can't pass.
All right. I'm all right. My number 5 player is myself. We got a lot of work to do here.
Oh my gosh! Please stop.
Lots of practicing to do. We're not nearly where we want to be. We've seen some progress over the years, but Got a lot of work to do here. All right, boys, we gotta wrap this sucker up. It's oh man, Thomas, that was too fun with your power rankings. I would love to hear just more power rankings of you in general. We'll save it for next time. How about that? We'll do that.
He's a bad man. Are you about to engage in blasphemy? Stay off the weed. I mean, my God. How much more can you stink?
All right. I wish I could you got your guys' faces that entire drop.
That's a great drop that you made. It's great. Love it.
Thank you. So that's going to do it for us on this episode of the Official League Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to all the games this weekend. Going to be some great football. And we will catch you next week. Thomas, great to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yep. Goodbye, only Joe. Goodbye, Joe.
Goodbye, only Taylor, and Thomas, too. Love you, too. Peace out, guys.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Bands Make Her Dance Fantasy Football League Podcast.